I'm going to tell you how to become a great developer and if you should really be afraid and stop all your plans because of the super ChatGPT 4, 5, or 6 that might exist in the future. Programming is a very interesting field, and today anyone can become a programmer, or at least they should give it a try. As Steve Jobs once said, everyone should learn how to code because it teaches us how to think. Well, it was in English, and I don't think he even said it. Anyway, if you don't know me yet, I'm Oscar Fernandez, a freelance software developer. And in today's video, I'll give you the keys to becoming a great programmer from scratch. Very important keys that I wish I'd known when I started. And that you should keep in mind whether you're already well on your way in the world of development or just starting your career. Now, I'm going to start directly with the answer to the question, what is a programmer really and what exactly do they do? The boring answer would be that a programmer is simply a person who has the knowledge of one or several programming languages used to create websites or computer applications. And any other device like those new Apple Vision Pro glasses, but I've always believed that explaining any information is much more interesting when you use examples. When a programmer has all the necessary Supermaster Pro skills, they're able to use everything technology offers to create very interesting and amazing things. You can create anything from a neural network to play hardcore Minecraft that can play by itself and even win several games. Or you can make an assistant connected to ChatGPT and your personal data. It's so you don't feel so lonely. If you're into finance like I am, why not try building a trading bot and adding artificial intelligence or neural networks to it? I want to do all these projects, and I'm actually working on them right now, and my plan is to bring them to the channel. This depends on you and the likes the video gets. I don't need 20,000. Even 10 would be fine with me. Some dive into very specific fields and program various thermostats, brains for cars, washing machines, keychains, or even write software for space launches. All of this is created by the hands, or rather, the brains of programmers, and they do it using programming languages. But then, what is a programming language? In its simplest form, you could say it's like this. People use common languages to communicate with each other, like English. Russian or German, for example, for a German person to understand you, you need to speak to them in German. It's the same way with computers, except they have their own languages and they're called programming languages. In short, there are quite a few, and each one of them is designed to solve specific tasks. For example, the C language is more efficient for building games and system-level software, while with Python, you can create anything, even neural networks. Telegram and Discord bots, it works wonderfully for all of that. And sure, some languages are different, but it's logical to assume the general principle of operation is the same. And in fact, it is. So by learning just one programming language, it will be much easier for you to learn another, which will simplify your life in the future. Of course, there are entire books, conferences, webinars, and a huge amount of educational material on programming languages. Well, much more on the older languages. If you go to COBOL, it's a bit harder. For instance, the book Algorithms, where the author doesn't teach a specific language, but instead focuses on specific algorithms and the general skill of writing code. Also, there are books like Clean Code, Code Complete, and other study materials designed primarily to improve your skills as a programmer. And this is an important nuance to understand because knowing a specific programming language is one thing, but being able to program is something else entirely. The ability to program is based on things like knowledge of algorithms, the capacity to think logically, having practical experience, and of course, knowing and understanding best practices, accepted conventions, design patterns, and much, much more. In other words, the deeper and broader your knowledge in different aspects and areas of programming, the more experienced, ultra-senior, and better programmer you'll be, and therefore you'll be able to solve harder tasks. And usually, it all comes together. You earn a lot of money, but again, as I like to say, don't become a programmer just for the money. Generally, it's a bad idea, although life is quite expensive right now in 2026. Now that you know more or less what programmers are, the types that exist, and what they do, we can move on to answering how to become a great developer. To my surprise, many believe that for this, you need to be admitted somewhere or study at a specific place. It's all much simpler than that, and you don't need anything more than a computer or a laptop, and at first, just for studying, you can even use your mobile phone. Besides, to start, you just need to decide on your first programming language. I have a video on the channel about this, which I'll leave in the description. or you can see it via those YouTube cards. And then you can open many textbooks and start studying them from beginning to end while taking notes. And since we're talking about this, I've highly recommended Python as a first language to learn for quite some time now. It's no coincidence it's the exact same language taught early on at Harvard, or even used at NASA. The language is quite simple, but at the same time very powerful. Currently, it's actively used to develop all kinds of websites, bots, and neural networks. You can build an app, a complete website, or write some other useful program. In general, Python is considered almost a mandatory language for every programmer. And therefore, most programmers in the world today know Python. Well, I also have another video about that on the channel. And what's really cool is that even when you move to a more powerful programming language in the future, and people complain you're not using C, Python isn't going anywhere and you'll keep using it actively. You can start learning it, for example, with the famous free book, A Byte of Python. In this small book of only 164 pages, which you can literally read in a week, while spending plenty of time practicing, of course. But if you need something more complete, you'll need to read Tony Gaddis's book, Starting Out with Python, which has about, I think, 835 pages. And finally, it would also be great if you read Python to Python Mastery by Rommel and Lucano. That would be ideal. As you can see, I always recommend books when possible, but it's not the only way, though it's the most effective way for me to learn programming. You can also take another path, like watching a video tutorial or a full course on YouTube, or going to university to become a great engineer, but that's much longer and a degree lately. Well, it doesn't mean much. At least in this industry, you can also use paid courses. This is necessary for those who find it hard to study on their own or need to start working as a programmer as quickly as possible. Though, well, that's a lie that rarely comes true. All these methods, one way or another, with varying degrees of success, teach you to code, and no matter which path you choose to become a programmer, in the end, it all depends on you and your desire to learn. Plus, nobody's stopping you from mixing approaches, like studying at university, doing coding challenges, and reading books on your own, or reading books while watching tutorials or courses, and vice versa. But there's one thing you must never forget, and that's practicing. Because I've said so much about the options for learning to code, but I forgot the most important part. The fact is that programming is one of the few fields where only knowledge and experience really matter. In other words, nobody cares at all where you studied, what degree you have, or what certificates. Only one thing matters. Show me the code. Well, that's a Linux joke. Your experience and knowledge, that's what counts. And how you get and develop them is a personal matter for everyone. As I said, some prefer diving into books, others watching tutorials, others going to university, and that's fine, but it's very important to develop general programming skills. And of course, theory without practice is worth very little. I've said it many times on this channel, so you also need to practice. For this, there are sites like HackerRank or Code Wars that offer hundreds of practical programming problems. By solving them, you'll learn to build algorithms, and most importantly, you'll be able to apply theory and practice. Now, you're probably thinking, why bother so much with algorithms? I'll tell you simply, without algorithms, programming goes nowhere. Because when you face a real problem, the speed and efficiency of the solution will depend directly on your ability to build your own algorithms and use existing ones. This is an idea you should learn as soon as possible. As you've probably realized by now, becoming a programmer isn't really that easy. But it's not that hard either, and it all comes down to the desire to learn. When I started, I was doing SEO, trying to rank my niche sites, studying PHP and coding for months without even knowing it was a job that paid well. I was just interested in writing code, implementing all kinds of ideas, and then running them to see how they worked. I also wanted to optimize my websites, making them fast and engaging. I also got into the world of black hat SEO. I was looking to add good menus and, well, modify a complicated WordPress setup back in 2026. So I wrote all kinds of scrapers, websites, and apps to track metrics. I even made an SEO plugin and themes for WordPress and PrestaShop. Of course, all this took me almost a full year. Many headaches and a lot of lost sleep. Keep in mind that back then, I didn't have any organization or anyone to guide me like you have right now. So please take my advice. Oh, and by the way, I mentioned ChatGPT at the beginning. The thing is, the programming community is a bit worried that this AI, which writes fairly functional code, might end up taking all our jobs. And yeah, we probably once said you couldn't explain what to do to a computer with simple human words. But now the situation has changed. I use ChatGPT every single day. That is something I simply cannot deny. I use it quite a bit to write simple lines, brainstorm weird ideas, or even ask it to write TypeScript types when I'm feeling too lazy to do it, or to write simple bots. And it's not bad at all. But many times it also throws out such garbage code, bad comments, or things that are just totally out of context. This doesn't just happen to me, it's a constant complaint from both die-hard ChatGPT fans and people who just like to tinker with the tool. But the real problem with these AI tools will come when companies finally figure out how to correctly measure a developer's productivity. Let me explain. Imagine you want nothing to do with ChatGPT or AI, but you have one or more colleagues who absolutely love using it. And even if they're at your level, they use it so much that they end up working twice as fast as you do. Because if you use it well and you treat the tool the way it should be treated, with care and attention, you're going to move very fast. What would happen if the company starts to see that some people are moving much faster than you? Even at the same junior front-end level, they manage to work more quickly while supposedly having the same tools and similar knowledge, but the speed at which one person completes their tasks is significantly higher than the other. What would happen then? Imagine this on a scale of 10, 20, or even entire teams being measured. The truth is that companies will gradually demand a much higher production rate, and if you can't provide it, don't worry, they will find someone who can. It might not be from you, but I assure you, many developers will know how to use AI to their advantage like this. Now, I know I'll get a lot of comments about this. Ideally, it wouldn't be this way, but remember that companies need to produce more and more, and to them, you're just a number. You've seen the waves of layoffs, and if you can't adapt to this change, then you have a serious problem. However, there is a solution. You might ask, Oscar, what is it? Simply try to use and understand ChatGPT and other tools, at least to improve your own coding speed and become much more effective. Now, I'm not saying you should give up your autonomy or use it for everything. That would be a huge mistake. Just remember that you can coexist with these tools comfortably and use them to your benefit when competing with others in your position. Even so, I don't believe that in the near or medium term, neural networks or AI, call them what you want, will replace programmers. So you can sleep soundly and confidently open your books and courses to become a great developer without fearing a machine will take your job. Just keep in mind everything I'm telling you. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell. As always, let me know what you think in the comments. Maybe you have a doubt, a question, or just want to share your story of how you became a great programmer. I think everyone will be interested in reading it, especially me, and it might even motivate some of you. Good luck, I believe in you, and thanks for watching until the end. Best regards.